What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about training frequency, and these are directly related to questions and emails that I've gotten. And frequency and intensity. That's the two things we're going to talk a little bit about today. Now, Sean Parle, who lives, I'm thinking, out in the UK because he signed the email Cheers, which that's kind of a term that God damn it, this camera, this should be part of my shtick over here. He wants to know, he says he doesn't get really sore anymore. And since he doesn't get sore, he likes to go to the gym. He said that I haven't really talked about overtraining much, but is going to the gym 6 times a week too much, even at his prime age. He said if he's not aching, he loves to go to the gym. So he doesn't see why he can't go every day. And as long as he's getting his diet and his sleep in check. He said he's just slightly worried because he's making all kinds of newbie gains and doesn't want it just to be because I'm in my first year of training. Well, Sean, that's what newbie gains are. They're in your first year of training. So regardless of whether you want that to be like that for the rest of your life, you are not going to gain for the rest of your life like you are now. So my advice to you is to enjoy what you're doing now if you're getting those gains, because they will stop, okay? And it sounds like you're wanting to do a little bit much, a little bit too fast. That's not the way this works, okay? You don't gain 30 pounds a year for 5 years and then you all of a sudden have a pro physique. You're going to gain whatever, and then it's going to slow down after that as your body adapts. Now, your body can only adapt and recover to a certain extent before its energy reserves are just tapped. It's not going to work, okay? So you have guys that do train every day, like WWE wrestlers like Batista, John Cena, The Rock. These guys train every day, 7 days a week, and they do their ring work as well. Now you notice they never really get bigger unless they start taking their juice. They maintain because it becomes part of your daily activity. You cannot go in there and break down the muscle tissue and give it enough time for it to recover, because if it doesn't recover, it doesn't grow. So if you're going back in the gym and hitting it again before it's fully recovered the next day just because you want to be in the gym, you're not going to grow. So decide what you want. You either want to be in the gym training all the time, or you want to get results and grow. It's one or the other. It's not both. There was a French bodybuilder, Francis Benfetto, in the 90s, and Francis had one of the best aesthetic symmetrical physiques around. Was like 189 pounds in the pros, and there was no 212 division, so he was in the normal pro division, the IFBB, trained every day, every body part every day, loved the gym, never progressed past that 189 pounds. Now we all know those guys are like 240, 250, 260 on stage. 189 is not holding a candle to them. He just didn't get the fact that he needs to recover to grow. Now later on, now and he's older now, he's like 50 years old, he's bigger. It got it in his head that he didn't have to train every day, and he grew. He actually got bigger. Now he maintains a bigger size. But you just can't have your cake and eat it too. You're not going to be able to train every day and grow. So enjoy your newbie gains for now, and then figure out what kind of split's going to allow you to get in the gym, hit the stimulus to break the muscle tissue down, allow the body to recover, and then allow it to grow. And that's how it works. So your body will adapt, but enjoy the newbie gains while you get them. One person said, yo, BioS3, what's my take on Cali Muscles training advice for frequency? He says that you can't hit it like a body part twice. Most IFBB pros train each body part only once a week. Now this is true because those guys are in the gym doing like 30 sets with like drop sets and heavyweights and all kinds of shit, and they push even on the drugs, they push their bodies past their ability to recuperate to train twice a week. Now Ronnie Coleman had the ability to train everything twice a week and still recover. So obviously it can be done, but most of these guys like Cutler, he'll be in the gym, he was doing a double split like 35 sets in the morning for back, and would come back and do 25 sets at night for biceps. So it was like he was training such high volume, he was putting his body in a deficit. There's no way you can do that twice a week. So I think it really boils down to the fact that these guys are training not just hard, they're training long. And that is what doesn't allow them to train every body part more than once a week. They need that time to grow. So if they didn't have it, they're going to overtrain and they're not going to progress. And most of these guys, being in the gym is a thrill. Being on drugs gives you the best feeling when you're in there training, and you got to pump and it's sick. And if you can be in there for 2 hours training, you'll train for 2 hours like that and not even realize it because you're feeling so good and looking so good that it's a rush. So, I could see them putting more time in with like less sessions, so they're doing once a week but putting like 2 hours a clip in, as opposed to putting 35 minutes in and doing it multiple times a week. Another question was, do I think training to failure for low volume is more effective than training high volume and lower intensity? Yes, okay? The way you stimulate a muscle to grow, guaranteed 100%, is by pushing it to failure. Now you need to hit failure, and that's not going to happen on 15 reps. That's not going to happen on 20 reps. It's not going to happen with 20 sets. If you hit failure on an exercise, I can almost guarantee you if you move on to another exercise, if you did 3 sets to absolute failure the way I train, you cannot continue to do 20 more sets for that body part like that. It's not going to happen. You don't have it in there. You will tear a muscle, hands down. There are times where I can barely get through that 3 sets. Where I'll do the first set and I'll be like, man, that was so taxing, and I got 2 more sets to do. It's only 2 more sets. I'm only doing 3 sets a week, but it's so taxing that there's no way I feel like sometimes I can get the next 2 sets out. I mean, eventually I get them, I rest and I get them, but the bottom line is, if you're hitting failure, that's high intensity, okay? And that cannot be done for a long period of time. You will overtrain, you will break down your central nervous system, you'll break down your immune system, you will screw yourself up more than you do yourself any good. But if you do the high volume, lower intensity, basically you're chasing the pump. Now, it's technically a hypertrophy training, technically it's anaerobic, but it's like getting on the elliptical. If I put you on the elliptical, put you on level 35, and have you go for 3 minutes, you're going to collapse when you get off that thing. But if I put it on 0 and have you go 45 minutes, no problem. It's the same thing. You can either train long or hard. You can't do both. But to stimulate actual muscle growth, it's not about hitting a rep range. It's not about getting a certain amount of sets. It's about making the muscle fail, letting it recover, and then it will grow. The bottom line is, if you push a muscle to the point where it cannot do anything anymore to that failure, that place where you fail, your body now has to adapt to the point where it says, I have to do that again next time I come in here. Or I have to do even more. So now it adapts to be able to do that again on a higher level, hopefully. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. And if you're not stronger when you come to the gym, if you're not getting bigger, then you're not recovering enough. So recovery plays a huge role in whether or not you get gains. In frequency of your routine as well as the intensity of the routine makes all the difference whether or not you're going to grow. 2011, I purposely bulked up to 265 pounds and got fat. So I could prove to people that even though you used to be in shape and get fat, doesn't mean you're doomed to be fat for the rest of your life. You can get back in shape if you have the tools. And within 18 weeks, I went from 265 down to 207 and got on stage, and I was lean. Okay, I did all that, but I did these drop sets, super sets, giant sets, tons of sets, high volume training 5 days a week. I mean, I did all this training. Looked 10 times worse than I did the previous year. And when I went back to my high intensity, low volume training, going to failure with less sets, I made a jump again and looked 10 times better. So it went to prove the theory that you could train long or hard, but you can't do both, and you will deplete your body if you push it too far. BioStreetTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.biostreettraining.com is the blog, and we're out.